25th Hour Radio Show.
Hello.
Hey, Don, this is Rob Fairless with the 25th Hour Radio Show. I got Randy Ashby right beside me. How you doing, man?
Good, partner. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How's your back doing?
It's going good. I just got done trimming up my mare's feet. So,
Did you have that surgery? Did you have that surgery to continue your career or just to be able to get around?
be able to walk, partner. Be able to walk.
Yeah, I got a back problem too. I know how that is. All right, man, let's get into it. Don, let's go back in time a little bit. You know, what made you get into the sport of wrestling in the first place? And did that lead into your martial arts training or was that vice versa?
Oh, I got into wrestling back in high school. My high school football coach, Jerry Secondpaw, I had Howard Clark was the head football coach. Jerry Secondpaw was the line coach, and Jerry was the freshman wrestling coach. So he said, "Guess what you're going to do after football, boy? You're going to wrestle." So I wrestled for him for half a year and pinned everybody in the first round. And then they moved me up to varsity to coach Manny Martinez, and I went 50-50 then.
You went up in class just a little bit.
Yeah, sure did. Never got pinned, but I got my black cleaned a few times, boy. By more than 10 or 15 points.
Now, you actually had a pro boxing career, and you had one fight, and you knocked your opponent out in the first round. Given your success of that fight, why not continue your boxing career?
Oh, I had 8 fights in boxing.
Okay, well, my fault.
Yeah, the first fight knocked the guy out with a rib shot, because, let's see, who was it? I think I'm drawing a blank here with all these.
Now, I know your first fight, now I got this off the Wikipedia, was Luis Mora.
Yeah, out in New Mexico.
And you knocked him out in the first round, and that's
Mike Munoz and Al Munoz. They were a father-son team, and they were my coaches, and my trainers. Art Martori, who runs the Sinkis Kids wrestling team, and the ASU Wrestling Club. He was my sponsor, and they put me out there, and we did pretty good. And then what happened was I was in a bad marriage at the time, and didn't get any support from the wife and the mother-in-law, and caused a bunch of problems, so it forced me to retire.
Well, how did you first get involved with the UFC?
Like I said, I retired from sports altogether, and I was as a fireman, and my days off I was shoeing horses, and like I said, we had in a bad marriage, and so I started taking up judo, for what little time left I had. I was working 7 days a week, and the excess time I had, I didn't need to be at the house, so I was started doing judo, and with Kiyoki Torres and Steve Owen, and we did that, and I called up Dan Severn from the fire station one night, because, after a couple years of judo, I saw the UFC, and I called up Dan and said, "Hey, Dan, Don Frye, can you get me in on this stuff?" He said, "Sure, partner." And he hooked me up with a couple of fights across country, and I ended up flying cross country and didn't get paid for the fights. Got ripped off by the promoters, as everybody does, But that's life. It was also a test to see if I really wanted to do it. A lot of these pansies you got running around now, they don't want to fight unless they're getting, a ton of money. And, shit, about 15 years ago, I had some jackass used to wrestle me. She would call me up and say, hey, can you give me a fight in Frye? And I said, well, how much money do you want? He said, I want $25,000.
Golly.
I said, well, how many fights have you had? And he said, none. And I said, well, what makes you think you're worth $25,000? Oh, well, I'm a wrestler, but you know what? I don't know if that guy ever had a fight,
Well, I mean, all the fights that you've been in and just brawls. What goes through your mind when you're sitting there facing your opponent? I mean, do you have to try to make yourself mad, or are you just focused on the task at hand? Or I mean, what's going through your mind, man?
I draw the energy from the crowd. My best fights is when the crowd is really cheering me on, or booing me, whether you're giving me positive energy or negative energy. As long as I'm getting the energy, I do great. But when the crowd's flat, those are the times that I got my butt handed to me.
Well, talking about getting your butt handed to you, did you ever fight anybody that you just waylaid them so bad you were like, golly, I wish I had. Man, I'm sorry about that, dude.
No, it never bothered me at all. Whoop somebody's ass.
Well, hey, let me ask you this: have you ever thrown an ass whooping on somebody out in like a parking lot or something after a show?
Yeah.
I mean, you ever had like an ill fan come up, or just somebody talking smack that just wouldn't back off, and you just had to lights out?
No, I never got that deep. There's always some jackass running around. But, you got to realize that, in today's day and age, there's always a piece of crap lawyer hiding around the corner with a camera, And they always know when to push the play button, the record button. Yeah, and it's after.
Yeah, sometimes you're getting set up, too.
Huh?
Yeah, sometimes they'll try to set you up, too.
Yeah, that happens a lot. And you just gotta look at them and walk away.
Well, man, do you have any other hobbies besides whooping ass?
Well, I got my horses,
What's that? I mean, what's that like? I mean, do you in competitions and stuff, or you just raise them, or?
Yeah, we just raise them because I used to, I got a beautiful stallion, got a beautiful mare, and I used to. 20 years ago, I used to breed my stallion all the time. But, come 95, 96, I just got so involved in the fight game, I haven't bred him. I don't think I've bred him. I bred him 4 years ago, and that was the first time since 96, because the thing about being a professional athlete is it's the most selfish job in the world, because it's, you're completely dedicated to it, the old saying 24/7, and that's true, that's all you think about, and everything else on the planet gets neglected, because, you're planning on a fight, you're training for a fight, or you're healing up from the last fight, and you could be healing up and training at the same time, which is basically what happened to me. 1996 was the only time I was healthy. After that, best I ever was 50%. And I fought it 10%.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a professional athlete. It's just like I said, it's selfish, and your family's got to be understanding of it. They got to be real tolerant of it, and it's, even though it's an individual, fight game's an individual sport. It's a team sport as far as the family's concerned. Because they know they're on the back burner because you got limited time for your career and limited time to make money.
We got a couple. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You gotta make hay you while the sun shines, you know?
Yeah, exactly, man. I hear you. I got a couple listener questions for you, man, if that's all right. You know,
Yeah, bro.
you know, of all the fights you've had, and from the few that you didn't win, you know, which fight do you wish you could do over?
The few that I didn't win. Oh, heck. You know, every fight I didn't win, I'd like to do over.
You want that second chance to whoop that ass, don't you?
I'm a selfish bastard, I'll tell you that right now, partner.
All right, we'll move on to the next one then. Of all the people you faced in competition, who was the hardest puncher?
Oh, I mean, Tank Abbott. Oh, my God. Tank Abbott hit me so hard, my children were born dizzy, you know, 3 years later.
Now, you took Tank, though. You took him out with a rear naked choke, right?
Yep. He knocked me on my ass, and I got up, and then I tripped and chipped him and knocked him down. He didn't get up. So.
Is there someone you've never faced that you wish you could have?
No, you know, Mike Tyson. I'd like to fight Mike Tyson. You know,
I think you could. I'm pretty sure you'd take Mike in an MMA bout.
Mike Tyson or Vander Holyfield. You know, I just love watching Vander Holyfield and Mike Tyson fight. You know, I thought their fights were some of the greatest fights I've ever seen in my life. You know, and it was just spectacular just to be a fan and be able to watch those two go at it. You know, they were true athletes.
Talking about Mike Tyson, Vander Holyfield, even Tank Abbott, what would it be like if one of them dudes just threw a haymaker at a normal guy like me or Rob, just standing there, just come up and just?
Well, I'd say it probably would kill us.
I mean, what kind of damage? What kind of damage would that do to somebody, though?
It's in your head to the goalpost.
Oh, exactly. Randy, you knew that question. You knew the answer to that.
Man, they'd be looking for your head for years.
Outside of MMA, you know, you're also a seasoned actor. You know, how did that opportunity arise for you?
You know, I got real fortunate. Douglas Crosby, who's a stunt coordinator, he's one of the judges, you know, in the fight game, and he's a stunt coordinator. He gave me the opportunity to do a couple of stunts on a couple of movies, and then a guy named Ruhei Kanemura, he wrote a part for me in the Godzilla movie over there in Japan. And then, you know, Michael Mann, God bless him, you know, he put me in two of his movies, one of his commercials. And, you know, God bless Michael Mann and Douglas Crosby. Those two boys, you know, they saved my life, you know, by get me in SAG, get me, you know, the Screen Actors Guild, and get me insurance. And, you know, I got these surgeries that, you know, got me walking and get me breathing, you know, and God bless them both.
You know, was acting more of a challenge for you than fighting? You know, it is kind of out of your element.
What's that?
Was acting more of a challenge for you than fighting? You know, it is kind of out of your element.
Yeah, it is extremely out of my element, you know, and, you know, it's just like fighting. It's a selfish endeavor, and you got to take it serious. I remember, you know, I was going to do the Godzilla movie, and I said, well, you know, I need to train at the same time because I'm going to fight at the end of the year. And they said, oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Anything you need, buddy. And I got there on set, and, you know, it was time to take a break, go train. Oh, you can't work out. You'll mess up your makeup. You know, you got to stay in wardrobe. You know, so I kept getting my ass kicked by some jackass who, you know, shouldn't carry my jock strap. You know.
You know, do you see more acting for you in the future? You know, I can see you as a badass villain or in like a western.
You know, starting off at the bottom of the barrel. You know, nobody cares who Don Frye is in the acting world. You know.
Are you trying to say they care more about who's in the public eye at the moment, not the small guy trying to make a name for himself in the business?
Yeah, they care about Johnny Depp. They don't care about Don Frye. You know, Johnny Depp guarantees money. You know, and they're not interested in giving you the opportunity to. You know, you got to bring something to the table. You know, I mean, I have a good fan base. You know, from the fight game, but unfortunately, you know, a bunch of the producers and directors, they may not be aware of that, you know.
Yeah.
Thank God Michael Mann is, you know. He knew I brought something to the table. Rui Katamura knew I brought something to the table. You know, I got a couple other guys, you know, who are aware of that. So, you know, I just worked a couple of days on a Western here at the beginning of this year. You know, it's supposed to be a one day shoot for me, and 2 days. You know, and I think I don't even know if I'm in the movie. You know,
I can see you in a Western, man. That seems like that's your stick as far as movies is concerned. I can see you being in a Western.
Oh, we had fun. You know, I was hired as one of the sheriffs. You know, and they give me a couple of lines, and they said, "Well, can you ride a horse?" Well, hell yeah, I can ride a horse. Ride a horse my whole life. All right, ride it. You hop on this horse. Next to the stuntman and his horse, you go down the road here, and we're gonna have this bank blow up, and we're gonna film it. Okay. Boy, I'll tell you what, man, that explosion went off. My horse went sideways, took my testicles with it, and I was sitting side saddle for the rest of the day, boy.
What about passing your knowledge down to other up-and-coming fighters? Do you have training facilities, or you do private sessions for people?
Nope, nobody's ever asked me to.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it seems like that would be another opportunity or something for you to take advantage of.
Well, I think I got a bad relationship with one of the lead promoter, you know, and so I think maybe if somebody hires me, then they're not going to be on the show.
I got one more.
That could just be my ego talking too, though. You know what I mean?
You were talking about you got to check that ego in this business.
Yeah, exactly.
I got one more question for you, and I hope it's not too touchy of a subject, but will we ever see you in the UFC Hall of Fame?
Nope, never will.
You got bad blood with Dana?
Pardon?
Do you have bad blood with Dana White?
You know what? Dana White's got a hard on for me. I have no feelings for the guy, good or bad. You know, back when he bought the company, you know, I was working for Pride, so of course I made, you know, working for Pride, I made comments, anti-UFC comments, because you know they were the competition.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you expect your fighters to do.
Well,
so,
you deserve
you know,
to be in there. If anybody
you know
deserves to be in there, you deserve to be in there.
Well, you know what? Thank you, and that's all that matters. If the fans think that I deserve to be there, then I'm there. You know, and even if you're in there and people don't think you belong in there, what good is it? You know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, so what does it mean that I'm not in there, but the fans think I should be in there? That's all that counts.
That's all that counts. You're exactly right. Man, we're almost out of time. I'm going to ask you where people can go as far as social media and websites that you have to find out more information on what you're up to.
Well, we got a website, donfrye.com. I think I think I got a Facebook page too. My wife just appears on me. I need to ask her a question. She just. Anybody seen Molly? She's over there. We don't know. DonFrye.com and then Don Frye on Facebook. And that's about as exciting as I get, partner.
Hey, man, I really appreciate you taking time out, Don, because I've been a big fan for a long time. I hope you take this as a compliment. You're one bad son of a bitch.
Well, thanks, partner. I appreciate that. That's all that matters. So I'm the fans.
It's always an honor to talk to somebody explosively wild as yourself.
Yeah, man. God bless America, despite what this Kenyans are doing to it now, and God bless the U.S. military.
Well, man, that's cool of you to say, Don. You have a nice night. And like I said, thanks for joining us tonight.
All right, partner. Take care.
You too.
The 25th Hour Radio Show.